Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like a long time since I've reviewed AEW pay per view. So here we are with AEW Double or Nothing 2023. I did not get to review Night of Champions. I did watch Night of Champions, but I did not get to watch it on time. I was working. I started watching the replay, fell asleep, had to finish it the next day. And by the time I finished it, hey, it's almost double or nothing time. So I don't have time to do that. So instead, let's watch and review Double or Nothing. The first match was the Hardys and Hook versus Ethan Page and the Guns, and honestly, this match was blah. And then this match was just like kind of whatever. I was so excited. All right, let's watch it. Let's get this Double or Nothing started. And thank God this match is part of the free matches you can watch on YouTube, and not the one that costs $50. Because this match is just did not belong in something you have to pay for. I'm sorry. I like all these guys. I like the Guns. I like Hook. I like the Hardys. I like everybody in here. The match was it just felt like a typical random match from any episode of AEW. Like, it didn't feel special. It didn't feel like a pay per view match. It was whatever. The only part that was kind of cool was the ending, in which, at one point, Jeff Hardy broke a pin with both the Guns on top of Matt Hardy, and he broke it by he jumping up the top turnbuckle, doing his finisher, the Swanton Bomb, and yeah, he broke the pin that way. That was cool. Outside of that, the only thing cool was the ending, in which Twist of Fate, and Sleeper and the Hardys and Hook won. Like that. That's the only thing memorable in the match. It was just the ending, and it's crazy because, like I said, everybody in here is good, but the match just felt like your typical just random ass match. It didn't feel like, it really did not feel like a pay per view match, which is probably why it was in the buy-in and not the actual pay per view. Honestly, am I ever gonna watch this match again? No. Uh, so I'm not gonna give it an up. I don't even have to give this a down or in the middle, because the match just was whatever. There's a few funny parts with the Guns mocking the Hardys and all that. Sure, some of that stuff was funny, but yeah, outside of that, yeah, there was nothing in here. I guess I guess I'll give it a down. That was not that. It was really not that great of a match. I guess I'll give it a down. Personally, did not. I was not into this match. Then we had the official first match of the night, which was the AEW International Championship Blackjack Battle Royale. Phew, that was a mouthful. Orange Cassidy defending his belt in a battle royale which consisted of 21 wrestlers. This match was a ton of fun. This was a proper way to start the pay per view, not counting that buy-in free match that I was not into. This match was a ton of fun. Battle royals, for the most part, are always tons of fun if done right. And you had a group of wrestlers here that are really talented, that are really good. So this was a really, really fun match. A lot of people got their time to shine between Keith Lee, Swerve, Brian Cage, Penta, Commander, Dustin. Like, a lot of people got the opportunity to shine at least a little bit in this match, and it was fun. Commander was just running around from the top of the ropes, and it was insane with some of the stuff he was doing. Tons of fun. That match honestly was a lot of fun. Was there anything specific that I can say? Not really. It was just all over the place with people. Everybody. It's a battle royal. It's how can you really describe a battle royal? But there were stories to be told, like Keith and Swerve in there. The final four ended up being Big Bill, which I still don't like that name. Orange Cassidy, Penta, and Swerve. And the final two ended up being Swerve and Orange Cassidy. And the ending to their two matches, the back and forth between the two of them in this match was really, really fun. Really, really good. This was a really fun match. It gets an up. This was a fun battle royal. Then the way Orange Cassidy won, Swerve was just hanging for dear life from the rope from the outside, and Orange Cassidy just had the little casual kick in his hand, and yep, you're out. Up. Then we had Chris Jericho and Adam Cole with Special Enforcer Sabu, which all that really was Sabu was technically in Adam Cole's corner. I don't know why he's there as a Special Enforcer. He's there in Adam Cole's corner. Like, That was just a weird marketing ploy. Yeah, Sabu's involved. Did he do a lot? Not really. He kind of came out and was part of the brawl of the Justice League. That's what I like to call Jericho's team, the Justice League. And Adam Cole, Sabu, and all that. Quick fun brawl at the beginning, but man, you could tell Sabu just can't really do it like the way he used to. Of course, he's old. Like he had a table spot and it didn't even look like he jumped. It looked like he just kind of just fell to the outside until on top of the table. It was kind of funny. But yeah, that's really what he was there for. He was just in Adam Cole's corner. So yeah, they all got into a brawl, and then the match got started. The brawl was fun. The match itself was pretty good. It was I expected it to be a little bit more violent due to the story that the match is telling of Adam Cole out for revenge for what Chris Jericho was involved in when they attacked Britt. Like I just expected this, especially as an unsanctioned match. I expected it to be brutal. Yeah, there was tables and candlesticks and chairs, and there were some good spots indeed. At one point, Jericho threw the chair right into Adam Cole's head, and he fell because he was at the top turnbuckle when he did it. He fell right into the table that was outside. Like there was some fun spots. There was a chain involved. They were all tied to the chain, choking. Like the match was, yeah, violent, I guess. But I guess because this is AEW, I was expecting the blood and all that, and you don't really get that. And as the match itself was good, it really was. I quite enjoyed it. But the ending, an unsanctioned match, no disqualification, and the match ends in a referee stoppage. Who booked that ending? Vince? Did Vince come to AEW? Like that was like even the crowd was like dead when the ending happened. Like what? Like, because Adam Cole was just pounding the shit out of Jericho's face, punch after punch after punch after punch. And Jericho had a little bit of blood in the bottom of the eye, and he wasn't like bleeding or anything like insanely, just a little bit of blood, and just punching him and punching him. And the match was stopped because Jericho could no longer defend himself. Like, this is an unsanctioned match, which is no disqualification. And it ends because Jericho can't defend himself when the whole point of the match is AEW will not be responsible for whatever happens here. So why is the AEW referee stopping the match? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. The story and the match and the stipulation, just the ending didn't make any sense to me. The match itself was it good? Yes. Was the brawl in the beginning fun? Yes. And I liked the match. But the ending just took the air out of me. Like, when it ended, I'm like, what? So as much as I want to give this an up, it's just in the middle. It doesn't get it done, but it's just right in the middle. Because, man, the ending just deflated me as good as everything else was. And when you have a good match but a shitty ending, well, we end up remembering a lot of times it's the shitty ending. So, yeah, I just expected more. And not that I expected more in the sense of violence because of the story. And then the ending just deflated me. So yes, was the match good? Yes, it was. But I would not give it an up. It was right in the middle. But like I said, the match itself was good. At one point, Britt Baker came out and completely obliterated Chris Jericho with the candlestick. Like there was just candlestick hit after hit after hit. You could see Jericho's back all fucked up. Then Saraya tried to come out and help, and she got all fucked up with the candlestick and ran off. And they were never seen again. Like I said, the match itself was good. I just expected more violence, and the ending deflated me. But the match itself, it was a good match. Then we had FTR defending the tag team titles against Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, with special guest referee Mark Briscoe. This match was actually pretty fun. It started off a little slow and a little, dragging bit. But when the match gets to its halfway point, the match is kind of picked up and it don't let go. And it was just fun tag team action, honestly, because that's what the match was, fun tag team action. I'm not super crazy about Jeff Jarrett, but at least in this match, he did his part. He did his thing. And the match was honestly it was kind of fun. And it was good back and forth. The whole thing of the match, the whole idea was like, where's Mark Briscoe going to stand? On whose side is he going to side? I guess I'm pretty sure everybody knew the answer by the end of it, but it still was nice to see as Mark Briscoe ended up hugging and all that with FTR by the end of the match after FTR won. The match really got fun with the shenanigans, the interference, Mark trying to keep control of everything. Mark got hit with a fucking guitar by Jeff, knocked out. He looked like he legitimately got knocked out. And, so there was no referee. At one point, FTR was going to win. And Aubrey came out, the referee. She got hit with with a guitar. It was shenanigans galore. But it was fun shenanigans galore type to see. FTR winning obviously was the right call. I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett have any gold, but the match itself, like I said, it was a little slow at the beginning, but it got better the more it went on, and the more the Mark Briscoe aspect of it came into play. Like, where are you gonna stand? What are you doing? Why are you kicking him out? You're supposed to be with us, and all that. Like, that's the part and aspect of the match that made it more fun. If had Mark Briscoe not been involved in this match and not been special guest referee, the match wouldn't have been as good and as entertaining. There's just something about special guest referee matches, which don't happen too often, that are kind of fun. It's like, oh man, how is this gonna play out? And the fact that there was a major story playing out in the match itself just kind of amplified the match itself. So FTR retains, go call, obviously. And it was nice to see the ending of Mark and FTR all hugging and all that. That was cool. Honestly, the match gets an up. I quite enjoyed this tag team match. Then we had a little backstage segment with Jericho complaining about what happened. Oh, did you see what happened? Referee stoppage and all that. So they're gonna have a match on Wednesday. Him and Saraya, which is Britt and Adam Cole. So yeah. Then we had Wardlow and Christian Cage for the TNT Championship in a ladder match. And there's been many, many ladder matches over the years. And is this going to win best ladder match ever? No. Is it going to be in the top 5, top 10? No. It was not the most brutal or insane ladder match that you will see. But it was still a fun match. Christian still got it. Wardlow's a fan favorite. I like Wardlow myself. And yeah. Like I said, is it going to win any awards for greatest ladder match? No. But was it fun? It was. There was some gibberish things here. Like, to me, honestly, Arn Anderson should not be doing any of the stuff he's doing. Personally, in my opinion, the man just can't move right to do anything really right in that regard. Like, don't to me, he really shouldn't even be out there. At one point, Aaron Anderson came out to help Warlow out and stop Luchasaurus. We all know he wasn't gonna do that. Luchasaurus was gonna go for a choke slam, and Arn Anderson bit his thumb so hard, Luchasaurus' finger started bleeding. I was like, and then like that's it. And Arn Anderson could barely walk and move around. I'm like, dude, they did nothing to you. Like, wow, he really should not be out there. Personally, yeah, it just there was a nice spot of Warlow going to the top of the ladder and jumping into Luchasaurus, who was on the table or two's table. He kind of missed his spot, like he kind of hit Luchasaurus, but he also kind of just fell by himself into the other table. It was a nice spot, a kind of botchy spot at the same time, but it was still a nice spot. It was still a hard hitting spot, so I'll still give that an up for it. Yeah, the whole idea of the match is that Christian is some ladder expert, which he is. He's been on tons of ladder matches, and he has a number on Warlow. But whenever there was ladder action, it was really Christian getting just trashed around with it. So if you think about it, was he really the expert? And yeah, Warlow won. At one point, the ladder, he jumped into the ladder from the top turnbuckle to try to stop Christian, who was at the top of the ladder, but the ladder kind of just bent and he fell, and both of them fell, and it kind of had to have hurt. I don't think the ladder was meant to break, so that was kind of a bunch, but not really their fault. The ladder just kind of broke. But yeah, the match itself was fun. It was a fun, entertaining ladder match. Like I said, if you're expecting greatest ladder match ever, you ain't gonna get that. But it was still a fun match, and I'll give it an up. I quite enjoyed this match. Now this match is gonna be quite controversial. Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. This was barely a match. This honestly was just a squash match. Tony came out and Jamie is about to come out. Her music's playing. She doesn't come out. She doesn't come out. Eventually she does, as she's getting fucking destroyed by Saraya and Ruby. And she just got trashed and trashed and trashed and trashed. and she was getting dominated. Eventually, finally, Baker came out to even the odds somewhat. Forgot the other girl who came out. Some other chick came out to help, and outside interference was cleared. So then it was just Jamie and Tony, and yeah, Jamie had valiant efforts here and there, but for the most part, Tony just dominated that too, and she won. And again, it was kind of like a botch that kind of went in because it's like Tony barely like touched Jamie, and Jamie just ran into the turnbuckle that was unprotected. But the thing is, they really didn't feel like she threw her that hard. More like just Jamie ran into it herself. It was just weird. So Tony won. She's the new women's champion, and it's like, man, I kind of wish Jamie was champion a little longer, but she's been champ for a while, so I guess that's fine. But the way it played out, it's just I don't know. It didn't feel earned. And I'm all about heels and heel tactics, but something about this one just didn't really feel right to me. I love Rhea Ripley squashing Natalia last night in Night of Champions. That's why I said I'm a fan of stuff like that, but here it just didn't feel right. I don't know. I'll give it a down. It was really short too. Then it was the House of Black defending their trios championship match titles in an open house rules match, and their opponents were the Acclaim, which obviously means this was a good match. Obviously, the Acclaim had a rap. They referenced Dominic to Buddy Matthews, and everybody went, "Oh!" It was pretty good. The match itself was pretty good. Like it's House of Black dominated quite a lot of this match. So yeah, the Acclaim had their moments here and there, but I was quite surprised at how much the House of Black was on the dominating side of everything. Even the commentators at one point brought it up. Yeah, which is good though because they should. I mean, they're an awesome trio. They're awesome. They're great, and yeah, they should keep being champion for a long time. The match itself was it was fun. It was definitely a way better trios match than the opening bout with the Hardys and all that. I can tell you that for sure. It was a way better match than that. But was there anything necessarily special about it? No, there wasn't any spots where I'm like, oh my god. Like yeah, the only one that was funny was Billy Gunn hitting the famouser on Brody King, and the way he just took it, he flipped over. It was kind of funny. The commentators were even laughing because it was just funny how it looked. But yeah, there was nothing necessarily special about the match, but it was a good match nonetheless, and it was a fun match nonetheless. And the right person won. Well, the right group won, which was the House of Black. I'll give it an up. Then we had Jay Cargo and Taya Valkyrie, and I was gonna pretty much shit on this entire match. This match was boring. It was lame. I was not into it. I'm just not a Jay Cargo fan. I just don't think she's that good. I'm really not into her at all. I thought this match was, honestly, I was just gonna come in here, be funny, give it a down, and move on. But something big happened. So those intentions of mine were quickly shattered because Jay Cargo won. Like I said, the match, I was gonna give it a down. The match itself gets it down. Uh, and she won, and now she's 60-0, and here comes the manager. Oh, 60-0. She'll take on anybody, anytime, any place, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here thinking to myself, either somebody's debuting or somebody's returning. Because they're bullshitting too much in the ring now. And that's exactly what it was. Chris Statlander made her return. And she not only just made her return, she went into the ring. And the match was made official. And the match started. All of a sudden, we have Jay Cargo versus Chris Statlander. Her streak 60-0 on the line. The title on the line. And Chris won. Like, she won. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. The streak is over. We got the title off her in a shocking manner. So that's good. And that's all good. And Chris returning got a big pop. Honestly, that whole aspect gets a major up for me. I like Chris. She's awesome. She's cool. Yeah. I think she's great. And the fact that now she's champion and Jay Cargo's streak has ended and all that. Indeed. That's great. Gets an up. That gets an up, but the match with Taya gets it down. So then we had what they call main event one. To me, there's only one ever one main event. I hate when they do that. Like yesterday, Night of Champions. Oh, double main event. No, triple main event. It was yesterday. And like, shut up. Main event's the last match. But whatever. It was time for the Fatal 4-Way between Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara. My God, this match was... This whole pay-per-view... Well, see, a lot of the stuff in here was like it was either downs or ups or in the middle, but it lacked an awesome match up to this point. This match was that awesome match that the pay per view was lacking. Because even the good matches, yeah, they were good, but nothing took it to that, like, holy shit, that match was awesome. There was no match here that was like, oh my God, that was awesome. Till we got to this match. This match was insane. This match was tons of fun. This match lived up to the hype. Before we talk about the match, Sammy Guevara, when he came out with Tay, and they had a few signs and had messages written in them, and eventually it was revealed that they're having a baby. Crowd pop big. Jungle Boy even clapped. That was awesome. It was really cool to see that in the crowd give that big pop, because he's gonna be a father. That was real cool. The match itself was just awesome. Honestly, this match, like, nobody felt like a weakling. Nobody felt like a loser or lesser than anybody else. The four pillars all felt like the four pillars, and they all felt even. They all felt like equals. It was an awesome match. Some of the most insane stuff I've seen, honestly, with all four-way submissions and just Canadian destroyer after Canadian destroyer after Canadian destroyer after Canadian destroyer, like one to the other. Jungle Boy did one to Darby, then Sammy does it to Jungle Boy. Like, it was insane. Like, some of the stuff that was going on here, nobody felt like a weak link, and I feel like that's one of the things I really enjoyed about the match. Everybody played their part and everybody felt like a big deal. And yes, deep down, I think everybody expected MJF to retain, but it's just something about the match where it's just like, nobody felt lesser than the other guy. That's the reality of it. It was really good. It was insane. Like, man, like, some of the spots here were really fun. Like I said, at one point, they all had each other in submissions, like a four-way submission. I'm like, what is this stuff? And like I said, the Canadian Destroyer spots. And at one point, Darby just ran right into Sammy and MJF and went into the crowd. Like, it was insane. It was really good. This match is a must-see match if you like wrestling. It was fun. Probably one of my favorite Fatal 4-Ways I've seen in a long time. MJF retained because Darby Allin went for the coffin drop, and MJF, real sneaky, put the title right on top of Jungle Boy. And so when he did the coffin drop, landed on the belt, and then MJF got him with the headlock, and that was it. And MJF retained. It was real good heel work too. Like, the way he looked real sneaky, the way he won. So yeah, the match had everything. It was fun. It was back and forth, some fun spots that I've honestly never seen, and it was just the right man won. I can't say anything negative about the match. I really cannot. The match was more than good. It gets heavy metal horns for awesome. Then we had the Elite taking on Blackpool Combat Club in the main event in the Anarchy in the Arena match. And Anarchy, it really was. What a fucking wild ride this match was. So, as soon as this match was started, I mean, this shit was crazy right off the bat. So the Elite came out, and they were in the ring, and Blackpool Combat Club's gonna come out, and they're the band. I don't know. I don't think it's an actual band that sings Wild Thing. I don't think it is. Didn't sound like it, but anyway, it might be, might not be. You let me know in the comments. But the idea is that the band was out there playing Wild Thing, for them to enter, and they're performing in the on the top of the ramp and all that. They're performing Wild Thing and all that, and it was insane because the Elite do not wait. So Blackpool Combat Club is coming out through the arena, through the crowd, Shield style. And they're coming out. The Elite don't want to wait. They go meet him up in the crowd, and the brawl just starts right off the bat. Like, this match is hard to keep track because the camera just kept going here, there, over there, here, there, over there. Because for a lot of the match, like, all 8 individuals were like in different areas. Like, 2 people in the arena, 2 people in the ring, 2 people outside, 2 people in the crowd. Like, it was a little hard to keep track at the time, but it was wild. And while they're all brawling and fighting, the band's still playing Wild Thing. And they played the song, and they kept playing the song, and they kept playing the song. The song was like never ending. It was just some of the wildest thing. In fact, when it all ended, it didn't even feel the same. I'm like, oh, wait. It was kind of nice, the music. It felt like you were playing those old school WWE games where there was no commentators talking. It used to be songs of music playing when you did your matches with your friends. That's what it felt like. I'm like, is this Here Comes the Pain? Is this Day of Reckoning? Is this like those days of like music during matches? It was wild. It was just fucking wild. Eventually, after a while, one of the young bucks super kicked the singer because he had a shirt of Blackpool Combat Club. It was wild, and that stopped the concert. But man, this match was brutal. This match was hard hitting, thumbtacks, barbed wire, exploding super kicks. There was a spot where just like I've never seen anything like it. I don't remember which of the bucks it was, but one of the bucks, they put the thumbtacks in his mouth, and then Cesaro went for the uppercut that he does, running uppercut, and the fucking thumbtacks flew out of his mouth. It was one of the most dangerous and riskiest things I've seen. Because, I mean, if you swallow that, that could be trouble. So it was a risky thing, and that shit must have hurt. At one point, I think it was the same young buck, they took his shoe off and put his foot right on the thumbtacks. The match was brutal. At one point, Cesaro and again, I think it was Nick Jackson that were outside and they were fighting, and Cesaro did a power driver on a fucking truck, on a van. I was like, oh my god. The match was wild. It was brutal. It honestly was. It's like, when you watch it, I'm like, yeah, no wonder this main evented over the MJF matches. In a way, you would think the world title would main event. When you watch this, you see the chaos. Yeah, you understand why this main event. It's just the brutality, and like I said, the matches were all over the place. At one point, one of the young bucks, I think it was on Wheeler Yuta, he was just like doing like this kind of like suplex over and over again, going down the ramp. It's just one of those things. It's hard to explain. It's one of those things. Was like, you gotta see it to believe it, type of thing. It was wild. And yeah, eventually Don Callis helped Blackpool Combat Club get the win. There was a debut, I want to say, from a wrestler whose name I honestly don't know. I'll be honest with you, if it's some New Japan stuff, I don't watch that stuff, so I don't know who it was. I know the crowd gave him a pretty big pop. The commentators made a pretty big deal about it, but man, I can't remember his name. But the idea is that he also helped Blackpool Combat Club get the win. So the mystery is Don Callis and Mr. whose name I don't know. Are they part of the Blackpool Combat Club? So yeah, it was wild. It was crazy. Yeah, and honestly, for a good chunk of the match, I want to say, I don't know, a 60 to 40%, I want to say, or maybe 70 to 30%, the Blackpool Combat Club dominated a good chunk of the match. Like, the majority of the match was dominated by them. Yeah, it was back and forth at times, but, man, at one point, I'm like, man, the Elite are just getting killed out here. I mean, Handman's getting killed. Kenny's getting killed. The Young Bucks are getting killed. I'm like, oh my god. It was just a fucking massacre. Tonosuke Kazushida, I think was the guy's name who debuted there. Yeah, I think, if I pronounce that right. He's the one that helped Blackpool Combat Club get the win. It was wild. And man, and that fucking exploding super kick, I thought fucking John was dead. I'm like, oh, Moxley, you alright? Man, wild. Everybody had their time to shine. It was an awesome match. Just like the match before it, it gets heavy metal horns for awesome. Honestly, these two matches help the pay-per-view feel more than okay. Because without these last two matches, the pay-per-view would have just been an okay pay-per-view. But these last two matches, two co-main events, really helped it and helped me feel like, okay, maybe the $50 was worth it. Because before these two matches, yeah, like I said, there was good stuff, but not awesome stuff like the last two matches. And that's it. That's my review of Double or Nothing 2023. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, give it a like, share, comment. What were your thoughts? Which one did you like more, Double or Nothing or Night of Champions? Please do let me know. This has been the one and the only Brian Redgrave. Redgrave. Out.